What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Unpolished Podcast. We're in Georgia now. It's been a little bit of a secret. Andy's known for a while. Obviously, this is my realtor, him and Sarah. But Alex has lived down here for... Alex, how long you lived here?
6 months. 7.
7 months.
Yeah, 7.
So Alex has been on the property. It's a compound.
Yeah.
This thing is awesome. It's so awesome. I'm so happy I got it. But anyways, we're in Georgia now. The Unpolished Podcast is back up and running. This is a temporary studio while we build out the other studio. We just filmed Less Polished, brought to you by Atlanta Spawn Leisure. So make sure you check out the Less Polished series. We just filmed that with Andy Coleman. Andy Coleman, welcome to the show, man. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Do you feel relaxed?
Yeah, I do.
That hot tub? It's been a while since you've been in a hot
Makes
tub.
me want one. Yeah. I'm going to be hitting up
I
Atlanta
highly
Spa.
recommend.
Yeah,
highly
nice.
recommend. I'm probably in there way too much. My skin has been so dry.
Nice.
It's so dry. But yeah, so you are a realtor. We started talking about that with the Less Polished. And then you said, I actually wanted to bring this up because you were just rolling with the history. This is my Georgian library.
Yeah,
You said Roswell.
My tagline to a lot of people is I would argue that there's very few people that know more about Georgia than me. I would argue that nobody knows more about Forsyth County than me. So
Every time I talk to you, you got some crazy historic story. Where do you learn all that? Do you find yourself digging on the internet? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I'm like a bad rabbit hole guy, and I read. My wife says an unhealthy amount. I mean, I wake up and I go to bed reading. I read books. I read news. I read everything.
Have you always been a history buff, or is it just kind of like a Georgian history
I've always been
buff?
like an information guy. Like if I don't know something, I go look it up. I mean, my parents bought me a set of encyclopedias when I was a little kid. I read every single one of them. I just
No way.
I just love it. Yeah. So I think what really gets me into it is my family's roots are so deep in North Georgia, and I just always like wanted to know more.
We've been here
more.
your whole life.
I've been here my whole life. Like the Colemans came here in the late 1700s, 1800s.
You do that like family tree
No,
thing?
So if you go to Roswell, they have a really awesome historical society. I can read a lot of it there, which I've done multiple. I've sat there for hours just reading. But
you got a big nerd in you, huh?
Yeah. I say I want to do the like ancestry thing, but I'm like always afraid that somebody in my family is gonna be convicted of murder because my DNA is gonna pop. And like Sarah watches those podcasts,
Yeah.
Like I give them my DNA, and then boom, my cousin.
I don't like the idea of giving my DNA
That's right.
at all.
And that's why I haven't done it. Like, yeah.
And that could be my tinfoil hat or whatever, but I don't know. Like if there was a conspiracy to steal everyone's DNA and use it somehow, it'd be great to advertise for 23andMe.
Yep.
It'd be a great way to be, I just want to find out about my great-great-great-grandpa.
Yeah.
And you're just handing your DNA over to whoever.
Yeah.
I've never looked. Well, we did it with my dog one time. We had no idea
really?
what type of dog he was. We found out he was like 1% wolf and all this stuff. That was the one time we did the DNA thing.
That's cool.
But you said Roswell is the most beautiful spot.
Yeah, I love Roswell. And now, I mean, I'm even more partial because y'all have not visited Canton Street yet.
Canton Street.
Yeah, so in downtown, what they call historic.
Well, maybe. Did you tell me that Italian place that you had us go eat?
Oh, yeah, you went to, I forget the
Is that Canton?
Yeah.
Canton Street.
There's Canton, Georgia, but there's Canton Street in Roswell, Georgia. And it is about
How far is Roswell?
30 minutes.
That's probably where we went.
It's a 1 or 2 mile strip, straight shot, where they've got a permit for open container now, so you can just walk around drinking. And
You could walk around drinking, but weed is illegal?
Yeah, well, they don't enforce all that anymore, but yeah, it's illegal. But Canton Street,
that was a surprise to us.
it was like, my dad will tell me, because he grew up there, that's where all the mill workers worked. So Roswell was known for the Roswell Cotton Mill, and it was like, I believe, the largest cotton mill in the country at one point, way back. And there was a bunch of just tract houses on Canton Street with the occasional big nice house. And over the last like 20 years, they've turned it into like a bustling commercial corridor. And all those little houses now are restaurants or boutiques.
So I definitely think that's
coffee
where
shops.
you sent me.
Yeah, and I mean, some of the best food in Georgia is around Canton Street.
That was where I realized I was like, okay, I got to be a Georgia fan.
Yeah.
Because you walk down the street, everyone's wearing red.
Yeah, that's right.
Every single person was wearing red. And I walked past, like, I don't know if it was a bar. I can't really remember. but you look in and every single, it was like 17 TVs and they were all just playing Georgia sports.
Yeah.
Are there any pro sports that compete with like Georgia sports? Guys, welcome back to the Unpolished Show. Today's episode is brought to you by Pace Insurance. I've talked about Phil before. Phil is the best experience I've ever had when it comes to insurance. I've used Phil forever. He's hooked me up more than you can possibly know. He's given me all the options. So make sure you check out Phil with Pace Insurance and mention the show, and he'll help you out. Thanks, guys. This episode is brought to you by Kissed by Fire Barbecue. Like I've told you in the past, I would not advertise or partner with anyone unless I truly believe in their product or their service. And Dave Glomp and his family, I've trained his family, I've trained his daughter, I've trained his son. Actually, now Dave is training, which is amazing. I've only been in his ear for 8 years now for getting in the gym with me, but I'm happy to see him in the gym. He's an awesome guy, awesome family. Their values align with us. Not to mention the mac and cheese, the barbecue, everything that this guy serves is so freaking good. So if you ever get a chance to hire a food truck, Kissed by Fire Barbecue is 100% the way to go. I mean, everyone's just really about
I don't think so.
The dogs. Go dogs.
Falcons have gained in popularity. And one reason, have you been to Mercedes-Benz Stadium yet?
No.
It's the coolest venue I've ever been to in terms of new and modern. It's pretty awesome. And I haven't been to them all, but I've been to a lot. Actually, the soccer team is super popular here. The Atlanta United.
Okay.
They're like hugely popular. And part of that, like, we have a huge Hispanic population in North Metro. So they, like, if you go to those, they sell out every game. And it's not just Hispanics, though. It's like everybody goes to those games. They are fun. I'm not a big soccer guy, but they're fun. And they won the cup a couple of years ago, and they had the best player in all of ML.
Didn't you? I feel like you told me they were going to hold like the next cup.
The World Cup is here. Yeah, World Cup.
The next one?
28, maybe.
2028? I think you told me that.
Yeah, they're going to do some of it I'm sure they'll do some in Athens at Sanford Stadium. I mean, that's my favorite stadium, but Mercedes-Benz is just awesome. Like, it's really cool. You got to go when you get a chance.
Oh, we're definitely we have a huge bucket list.
Nice.
I mean,
nice.
And the amount of things you can do here, man.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I really wanted to talk to you, because you are a realtor in this area. I wanted to talk about why we came here.
Yeah.
You know, because we visited Texas, we visited South Carolina, we visited the South. We knew we wanted to go south because we were just done with the winter. Absolutely done with the winter. I mean, the -30, the freezing pipes. Like, I'm just days before we started making our drive, Kelsey's battery took a crap.
Oh no!
And I'm just like, this is exactly why I'm leaving. My hands are frozen. I'm trying to charge it back up.
We'll have to touch back on this in July and August when it's 100.
Oh, I know. That's what everyone keeps saying.
The humidity is just killer. It really is.
But it's not as bad as like.
No,
Florida.
I'm used to it. You know, so
right. And I'll take that. I'll take the humidity and the heat every day of the week for like two less months of winter.
Yeah, I agree.
So, because you were talking about Jackson Hole and possibly living there, I mean, that's 6 months of winter. Yep. I can't take the cold, man.
No.
I'm just done. There's a reason all the old birds, they become snowbirds.
Right. Yes.
So they live up in Illinois because family, right? And then come wintertime, they go to the South.
Yep.
There's a reason. And I'm just doing it way sooner than thinking about. But one of the biggest things and I always tell this to everyone, I'm like, I don't want my kids to leave me.
Yeah. That's
I trained athletes.
I say the same thing, that I want this community to be a place where my kids want to stay and raise their family.
Exactly, man. Like, I want to build something and I want to pass it off to my boys. Like, and that wasn't going to happen in Illinois. Yeah. They weren't going to stay there. They were going to go somewhere cool, like really cool for college, like Georgia. And they're like, Dad, I ain't coming home.
I mean, UGA, that's a whole other. Have you visited Athens yet?
I haven't.
We're going to do a game this year. We'll definitely do a game, but Athens is like, I almost stayed there. You know, I went to school there and I did an internship my senior year, and they offered me a full-time spot.
So that's where you went to school?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And, like growing up, I was a Georgia Bulldog fan, but like closet Georgia Tech fan, which is unusual. You're supposed to hate Tech, but I liked both.
Is it a big rivalry?
Yeah. I mean, Tech's in downtown Atlanta, and then it was always known as the nerd school. It's always been a very
D1?
high academic. Yeah. They they were really good. They finished the year like top 10 in football this year until the end. They wet the bed, but they won a natty in 1990. They won the national championship.
Year I was born.
Yeah, but they only two schools I applied to. Georgia Tech,
Georgia?
University of Georgia. And for all my tech people, I always say I got early acceptance into Georgia Tech because people are like, oh, Georgia's easier to get into. Not so true anymore. Like everybody wants to go there. So the demand to get into UGA is like crazy. But I ended up going to Georgia mostly because Georgia's just awesome. Like who wants to live in downtown Atlanta with the crime, but you can live in Athens with Georgia football. And
the crime's gotten better, no?
It has gotten a lot better. Yeah.
What would you attribute that to? Because that was one thing that I was worried about choosing this location because we were kind of the same distance. We're like an hour from the airport back.
It got a real bad rap in the 90s. I think Atlanta was the highest crime in America for a while. And when the 1996 Olympics came, they did a ton of gentrifying and they tore down a lot of housing project areas and built them up and made them nicer. I mean, that's part of it, I think. But I also think that you had a couple better mayors that focused on crime and not just letting it be like a free for all. So
unlike Chicago,
Chicago,
they pretend it's not there.
I know.
They're like we're extremely safe and this and that, and meanwhile, they're paying for like 30 security guards at like $3 million a year.
There's still some areas in Atlanta where my dad was a City of Atlanta firefighter.
It's just like any city.
Yeah, he was like, don't go here. Like you'd be okay everywhere else. So
yeah, that's kind of how it is in Chicago.
Yeah.
Don't go here.
Yeah,
and you should be fine.
I remember like when I was younger and we were gonna go to a club or something, I would like text my dad the name of the road and he'd be like, yeah, you'll be fine there. He's like, no, don't go there. He's like, avoid these roads.
Don't go near that. I mean, the older I've gotten, the further away from any city I wanted to be.
Yeah,
that's where all the crazies are, man.
And that's why, like, as a realtor right now, I'm not trying to change the subject, but have you heard about Forsyth County is in the running for a pro hockey team? Did you know this?
I had no idea.
So it's all speculation at this point, but the NHL has
Forsyth County, like this county.
They've narrowed it down, they say, to Houston, Alpharetta, Georgia, which is one town.
Houston, Georgia?
Houston, Texas.
Oh, okay.
Alpharetta, Georgia, or Forsyth County. And there's a very wealthy billionaire who has like dedicated the end of his life's work to getting this hockey team in Forsyth County. And I'm like, I don't want a hockey team here. I don't want that. You're turning us more into a city. That belongs in Atlanta or like.
That's one thing I've been worried about. You know, when you drive around, there's so much development going on. There's so many houses popping up. Actually, one thing I wanted to bring up too was we had talked on the phone that one time when you said there was a huge change in the building codes. Yeah. So moratorium. If you go back to about 1995, I mean, I'm just going to pick that date because I think I remember that's when the growth really started here. We started being on the list as the fastest growing county in America or one of them. And then you fast forward through the next 10 years, they were kind of just like welcoming the growth and they weren't really doing anything to slow it down. Or I always say grow responsibly and let the infrastructure pace itself with the houses. And then the crash came, the 2006, 2008 real estate crash. And you can go back. You were a realtor at that point? I was not practicing real estate then, but like knowing what I know now and having really dug into the data, land investment companies came in during that crash and bought up tons of property in Forsyth County. Multi-billion cajillionaires now. And they were genius. They went and got their zonings when at that point there was no growth really happening for a 2 or 3 year period. So there was a 2 or 3 year period where these people would go get a zoning to build 1,000 houses on 100 acre and they were just rubber stamping it all. And then they sat on them for about 5 to 10 years. And then they all started popping up in like 2012, 15, 20. And there was very little that our commissioners, our leaders in planning could do about it because they already had the zoning that they needed. But in the last 2 or 3 years, they have started to try to crack down on it tremendously with what are called sunset laws. You own that land, it's been sitting for 15 years, you haven't done anything to it, you're going to lose your zoning. So, because they grew so much. And do you agree with that?
100%. The schools couldn't handle it. Like, I'm not against growth, first of all. That's what, but I am against unsustainable growth or growth that's putting a burden on the existing homeowners. So, like, for instance,
affecting property values.
That's
too.
right. Your rate, the price of my house, the value of my house is quadrupled since I bought it. But I haven't sold it, but they have taxed me on those unrealized gains. So my tax bill went from $1,700 a year to like $6,000 a year in the last 5 years, which I don't think is very fair because literally you're taxing me on something I haven't gotten.
How much acreage?
Oh, I have a quarter of an acre. Yeah, quarter of an acre.
Just for comparison, we had a house. We had a house back in Illinois, and it was it's now like $16,000 property tax.
That's crazy.
Well, I think per capita, I feel like Illinois took number one. Alex, maybe if you can look that up.
Probably.
I think it was between like Illinois and New Jersey.
Yeah.
I think Illinois like took number one for most. I don't know if it was the most tax, or if it was the most in property tax.
And that was a huge thing here. Is like, even in the real estate business, I see people moving here from California and Chicago, and they're like amazed at what they can buy, and they think these $5,000 and $6,000 a year tax bills are low.
Nothing. Yeah.
And I don't blame them, but for us, it's been a shock.
I know. At the top of the hill, because I got this big hill driveway, but my neighbor, she was telling me, "Oh, we definitely pay taxes for it. We definitely pay taxes." And I was just like, "Do you think this is a lot?"
Yeah. Well, they let the growth go so fast. The schools couldn't handle it. The roads couldn't handle it. So government, they're often reactive instead of proactive. They had to start building $90 million schools. It's going to raise their taxes. They have to start spending $50 million expanding 400. It's going to raise their taxes. And it's been a good problem if you're here and you're going to sell your house one day. But if you're here, like you said, and I want to stay in my house and I want to raise my family, it's been a tough problem because people are finding it's hard for their kids to buy houses here because starter homes in Forsyth County now are $500,000. So
yeah. So to go back to that moratoria that's happening.
I just pulled it up. Illinois
What's the highest?
is the highest. 1.8.
So states with highest effective property taxes, number one, Illinois, 1.83%. Then New Jersey, so I was right about 1 and 2, 1.77%. Georgia's not even up there. He'll get you over here complaining about nothing.
Yeah. So the moratorium, what they did a few years ago when we got a more, what I call homeowner-friendly commission instead of just developer-friendly commission, they implemented a moratorium on new zonings. So if you buy...
Because there's a pause on all...
New zonings. You can still build if you already have the zoning you need, but you can't get a zoning to increase the number of houses that can go on your property right now. They've paused that. And they're also trying to do the sunset stuff I was talking about for some of those giant tracts to lower. There's just a more push to have larger lots, specifically in North Forsyth, and stop putting 100 houses on 10 acres. And let's put 10 houses on 10 acres.
Yeah, make decrease the traffic. Because I know the traffic is kind of a big deal.
Yeah, I think like Atlanta, I just saw a thing the other day now, has the worst traffic in America, Metro Atlanta.
Yeah, I mean, it's no different than Chicago.
And we're just like, Forsyth County's been known, we're a commuter area. We don't have, most people who live here don't work here.
Yeah.
So there's a push to try to change that.
Some people refer to this as old money.
Yeah.
Like an old money area.
Yeah.
You got a lot of people with like land and farms and like old money.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people have said that I talk to. Oh, you're not old money area.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what that means, but
Yeah.
Real estate is it's definitely a great investment if you get in at the right time.
That's right. Yeah.
Where do you think the real estate's going in Georgia, by the way? Like because it's kind of moving north?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like the
north and 400, the highway, the state highway 19, but everybody calls it Georgia 400, is the vein that goes from, it connects to Atlanta via I-85 and I-75, and then it runs straight through Alpharetta, Roswell, Cumming, Dawsonville. So very convenient road and very easy to access all the attractive things around here. And then Lake Lanier. Like most people will say 400 and Lake Lanier, you can say was either the best thing or the worst thing that happened to Forsyth County. So it made it easy to get to it, and everybody wanted to go there. And then in Forsyth County, we had this huge influx of more affluent people in 2012 through 2020. So our schools benefited and our test scores started going through the roof. And as a school system, we're the highest ranked school system in Georgia. So everybody wants to come here. We have the lowest crime in Georgia. We have the best schools.
It's a nice area.
Yeah. I mean, so that's those two things are very attractive. So what's going to happen in real estate? I mean, I don't see anything happening in Forsyth County anytime soon other than it continues to appreciate. Now we've had a slowdown the last year or two, you know, inflation, housing inflation and interest rates, but it's still a desirable area. And there's an attempt to slow that growth down and have larger lots, which
that is the moratorium.
That is the moratorium. That will only make your house worth more money, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. So some people say, we need more affordable housing. And I'm like, well, no, we don't.
Well, no, we just want to be a higher end, higher class.
I mean,
there's nothing wrong with that. There's areas like that everywhere.
My dad worked in Buckhead for years. We couldn't afford to live in Buckhead. We lived in North Forsyth. He drove there. So
what is the say no to the venue? Say no to the venue. Say no to the venue. Is that okay? So this is what I've heard. They're trying to build a wedding chapel of some sort. And I've heard all sorts of things. There's conspiracy theories with it too.
I could make an argument for or against that building, but as it is being presented, I'm against it. It appears as though it's like...
Well, I heard they're lying.
Yeah, it appears as though they're not being honest. That they're asking for something that may not be exactly what they really want because...
And then they're going to shift gears when it's
That's
actually
right.
built.
In the development world, you ask for a little, and then once you get that, you ask for a little more, a little more, a little more.
Well, so. and you say what you need to say to get the thing built.
That's right.
And then once it's built,
100%.
It's like, well, what are you going to do now?
That's right. And I went... the videos online, you can watch the original, what they call public participation meeting. The guy did not appear to be honest when he was talking to the crowd.
You send this to me.
He lost everybody immediately. And so, yeah.
I saw one of the neighbors down the street. He had like a huge sign, public hearing on this date, time.
Yeah.
Huge sign of it.
It's like on my street, they built an industrial park that myself and hundreds of other neighbors fought like crazy because there is that push. We need more jobs here. We need more businesses and less houses. And I'm like, but you don't cram an industrial park in the middle of a bunch of country houses, and they did it anyways. And now they're going to have to spend millions fixing my road because the trucks can't fit on the road. So,
it's been ruining the roads?
Yeah, and guess who's going to pay for that? We are the taxpayers.
Taxpayers.
Corporate welfare. That's what I say. Like,
So when is the hearing, or how do we know when this venue is going to happen?
Paused and postponed over and over because it's very obvious as they presented it, it was not going to get approved. So
it doesn't look like it's going to go through.
Well, that's a game they play. The lawyers and the developers, they'll keep stringing it along, saying they're going to make a bunch of changes until they think less people are paying attention and they can slip it in and get it passed. So
the same political game.
That's right, 100%.
The same, which is another thing that I want to talk. That was another reason we sort of became friends too. We aligned very much.
There's another one happening tonight. Have you heard about the asphalt plant?
No.
Right on the other side of the mountain.
Asphalt plant.
Mm-hmm. Tonight at Coal Mountain or at Hampton. I don't know if it's a Coal Mountain or Hampton.
So they're trying to build a plant for asphalt.
Mm-hmm. And So and it will. I think we'll all be smelling it. So I think there's gonna be a lot of opposition to this.
We got the chicken farm smell every now and then.
Yeah.
That's not that bad though.
No, I grew up with that, so I'm like,
it's not
I'm
bad
used
at all.
to it.
And I had chickens at one point. When you're standing in the middle of the chickens and it just rained and then it's hot,
it'll start to get you. This summer, when the farmers start fertilizing, they fertilize a lot of these farms with chicken manure, and you're gonna smell that, and you're gonna be like,
"That's cool."
But a couple weeks, it's gone.
I'm cool. I'm cool with it. I'm cool. I plan on getting chickens too.
Yeah, same.
I plan on getting. I want like 20 or 30.
Nice.
Back there. I guess this hill is something else. Though.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to rent like a skid steer.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So now there's an asphalt thing that I need to be proactive about.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be hitting you up because I want to be part. I want to be a voice for this area because I'm not moving again.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you the flyer for February 18th. I'm doing the meet and greet for Mike Dudgeon, who's running for senator. Big Mike, they call him. You'll like him a lot.
So let's make our quick transition to politics. You would describe yourself as like a full on conservative?
Yes, that's what I do not call myself a Republican. I call myself a constitutional conservative.
Okay, so why do you say that?
And I say that because from my experiences, most Republicans that I observe and deal with today are not very conservative, especially when it comes to like fiscal. You go back to local government, they just want to spend so much money. State government, they just want to spend so much money. And
do you have an example of someone?
yeah, I mean, I've always been super into politics, and I worked almost full time on George Bush's campaign when I was in college.
Really?
Yeah, number 2, George Bush. And then, like, all these years later, I say he was not conservative at all. Like, I think he did as much or more damage to public education as any administration we've ever had. They just grew the Department of Education. So, I mean, there's a federal example. The money that is wasted on public schools, in my opinion, is one of the largest problems in this country. And you can just look at the data that as student populations have grown in school systems at whatever 5 to 10% a year, you see that administrative costs are growing at like 20 and 30%. And it's not helping anything because the scores are staying the same or going down. So, yeah, I'm not a big fan of the current public education system.
I keep going back and forth about putting the kids in public school or doing like the hybrid. I talked to you about the hybrid the other day.
Yeah.
That seems really intriguing to me, but then that requires a teacher at home for 2 to 3 days out of the week, which I'm not completely opposed to, but that's a lot of time.
Yeah. And I dog on public education as a system nationally, but in Forsyth County, where I did teach for 7 or 8 years, we're the best of a broken system, and we got some good people in our schools.
That's what everyone's telling.
Yeah, we have great teachers, and we're a little bit immune to a lot of those problems that we see. So
there's is some of that progressive, and so this is a big reason we left too, was those liberal progressive ideologies were bleeding into the school system. Because I remember my Aunt Kathy sent me it was either kindergarten or first grade. I think we looked up on the podcast too, Alex, if you remember.
Yeah, we did.
It was either kindergarten or first grade where in the curriculum they had gender teaching.
Yes.
You know, whatever it was called. Do you remember what it was called?
I don't remember, but I remember it was like they had it split up on what kind of like gender and sex ed topics were acceptable for each age group.
I'll give you an example. People are like, oh, that's not happening in Forsyth County schools. Well, it was happening a lot more than people realize. Our current Board of Education has cracked down on a lot of this gender.
How many genders are there, Andy?
There's 2, and everybody knows it, and unless they're lying to themselves. And the DEI stuff. But there was a software for years in our school system called Brain Pop. I mean, almost every school system in the country was using this software called Brain Pop. And it's a game that kids go on and play. And I could take you for years, I complained about it, to where they're playing these games where it's brainwashing them about the gender stuff and the DEI stuff. And I'm like, I'm not against diversity. I'm not against equity. I'm not against inclusion. But I read the literature and I sat through classes I was forced to take as a school teacher. And I'm like, this stuff is reverse racism.
100%.
Don't need to go down that rabbit hole because I'm like, I think I heard Tucker Carlson. I'm listening to his podcast right now on the Sean Ryan show. He was like, when
the
you're
anti-Semite.
Yeah. I mean, he made a comment today that he said, when you're making decisions based on a person's color, then it's wrong. Like, yeah,
it's racist.
Yeah, that's right. Like, it's wrong.
It's 100% racist.
Yeah.
And that well, they say you can't be racist to white people.
Yeah.
Or what?
Yeah. I've heard all that stuff.
I've seen a million videos of like just a brainwashed black person being like, I can't be racist because I'm black. It's like, actually, no. Just saying that actually is racist.
Yeah.
the pure definition, just objective or objective definition of racism is just making any decision based on someone's skin color.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we forgot that.
Yep.
And as a white male, you are at the bottom of the totem pole.
Yeah.
Or white hetero male.
That's right.
If you're gay, everyone wants to hear your opinion a little bit, and you're put on this pedestal. It's so bizarre. It's the Victim Olympics.
Yeah, it was.
How many names can you put behind you?
I'm a big logic person, and I just don't understand the logic behind it. That's with the gender stuff. I'm like, why do you think that a man should play against a woman. I can't wrap my head around it.
Oh, the sports thing?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I want to meet the dads that sat in the stands and watched Leah Thomas destroy their daughter.
Yeah, it was.
I want to meet that guy.
Yep.
And I just want to have like not like you're an idiot, but like, dude, what were you thinking?
Yeah.
Like you thought that was okay? Like that's crazy. That's crazy. And I'll bet you 99% would admit it was crazy.
Oh yeah, I don't
But they
think
didn't have
that's
the
something
balls.
that polls so well for the other side.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
But I mean, back to your point of all this, I if I put my finger on my political ideology, it revolves around fiscal conservatism. And we are not fiscally conservative in this country, and nowhere is that more evident than a lot of times in local government, where they're just blowing money left and right. And I'm like, if you understand basic economics, this is not panning out when you spend $90 million building a new school, and then another $90 million and another somebody's going to pay for it.
You know, it's been a real eye opener. Have you been paying attention to Minneapolis?
Oh yeah,
I mean, you can't not pay attention to
the
it.
fraud or like
The fraud that's being revealed, and
Yep.
Nick Shirley's at the forefront of it. You know who I'm talking about?
yeah. No, I watched the video and it was
45 minutes of him walking around Minneapolis, checking on daycares, transportation companies, all government-funded organizations, and no one's there. He can't get a hold of anyone. He can't get... Doors are locked, boarded up. You can't see anything.
yeah.
And then, did you see what it did around the country, though? It started making everyone...
Start checking.
And then someone was like, Nick, you got to check out Ohio. And then Ohio got all these independent journalists going around doing the same exact
Have
thing.
you seen in the last 2 weeks, 3 Georgia state House representatives and counting have been charged and or convicted with fraud for stealing pandemic relief money. And so I wonder.
And we all know what that pandemic
I
was.
know.
Big, giant joke.
Yep.
Did you get vaccinated?
No, so I got the first shot because we had our 10-year anniversary trip booked.
You had to get it.
And they wouldn't let us.
You should have hit me up.
But I didn't. I quit after the first one. I didn't go get the other.
I got my COVID vaccine card
And
right under Alex.
If I had it to do over again, I would not have done it. I'm like, wow. And we had our trip booked in June. The thing hits in March, and they're like telling us you can't go on this trip without a vaccine. And I'm like, what? So we just canceled the whole trip. But I did get the first shot, and I'm like,
Did you have any effects from it?
yeah, like my throat was weird for months after, like months.
Is
And
it normal now?
I don't know. Maybe it's in my head, but I used to smoke cigars on occasion, and
Now
I've
you
pretty
can't.
much quit because it makes my throat feel weird when I smoke a cigar.
Since the vaccine.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, I mean, all the stuff coming out with it now.
and one of my friends is a doctor, and I called him, and he's like, "It's fine, take it." He told me which one to take, though. I forget because he said the other one was bad. And
Well, there was the mRNA, and then there was the...
I don't even remember which one I took. Not the one that they took one off the
Johnson & Johnson.
Yeah.
Well, they had one before Johnson & Johnson.
That's right.
The
There was Pfizer, Merck, maybe.
No. Pfizer and Moderna were both the mRNA.
Okay.
They had the Johnson & Johnson, which was not mRNA. It was like the old type
Yeah.
of vaccine with like the old dead virus, which is hilarious because one of the things that they said was, oh, the virus is changing all the time. So it's like, how is the dead virus going to protect me from the new virus?
Trying to, like, my children, I'm like, over my dead body or my children getting this. I want them to get the sickness and then have the immunity. Like,
That's right. And there's old footage of Fauci saying it. There's old footage of all these doctors saying, oh, well, if you've had the sickness, well, that's
Yeah.
the best immunity
That's right.
you can
Yeah.
have. It's like measles.
Yeah.
Like they used to have measles parties. You're probably
Oh,
old
yeah.
enough to be like a member of a measles
That's
party.
funny you say. So March 13th, I'll never forget that date and when everybody started freaking out. And I was like, whoa. So like we stayed home a lot the next like month or two because I was even kind of worried. Well,
Because
forward,
of COVID?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fast forward to 4th of July. So we were like March, April, May, June, July. Sarah's dad had a big pool party. And I'm like, we're all going and we're all going to get COVID. Literally almost everyone at the party got COVID.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like,
This is the
we're
best way to
fine
do
now.
it.
Yeah.
No one died.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I mean,
And I know people did die. And I know I have a family member.
but I would argue they didn't die of COVID.
I'm with you. It's just, I'm not a doctor, but I believe it was just a really bad flu. Like,
I didn't even think it was that bad of a flu.
Yeah. Maybe
I've
not.
had the flu and it was worse than COVID. Also, I mean, the flu was gone, completely non-existent. The time that they were counting COVID cases and COVID deaths, it was just gone.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a huge flop.
Yep.
And with no filter, it was a way for a bunch of billionaires to become quadruple billionaires.
Yep.
So, and you see all the leaks with the Epstein emails. And stuff.
Yeah.
Bill Gates and all this new stuff coming out. I can't even keep up with it.
I've been reading like some of it, but I was reading from a kind of impartial guy the other day. He was explaining that there's millions of documents.
Millions.
And most of them they know are like fake. Because in these files is everything and anything someone called in about. So like you could call in and say, I have some information about the Epstein, and you could tell them that, and they had to type it up and put it in the files. So
if it's a screenshot of the emails though?
No, I'm just saying there's some. But like, did you read?
Like fake information,
Yeah.
like people calling in.
That's right. Did you read the Bill Gates emails?
I read, or someone posted something about him emailing Jeffrey Epstein.
There's Epstein
about
back to
talking about
Gates.
his penis.
Yeah, and about getting antibiotics.
And then secretly giving antibiotics
But I'm
to his
like,
wife.
Was Epstein like dumb? Because it was like illiterate almost. The email, the way it was typed. I'm like, was he dumb or is this fake?
I think they're all dumb.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
I think they're all dumb, man.
Yeah.
Like, and that's something that's been really eye-opening for me. Like, you think of all the stupid people that you know. Mm-hmm. There's a very
Super
high
successful.
chance. There's a very high chance that some of those stupid people just happen to be running for office.
Yeah.
Just happen to be in
one of the dumbest
positions
people
of
I
power.
know is a state house representative in Georgia. Known him like most of my life.
Really?
Yeah. Everybody calls him Tommy Boy. I mean,
Oh my god!
because like he was born into like this family business, family politics, and the guy's just a
Unfortunately,
complete
that's
idiot.
that's the theatrical game we play. Like if
Yeah.
you got money and you like power,
Yep.
you go into politics.
Yeah.
It's the best leaders are the people that don't want to be leaders.
Yeah. Yeah. And this
And
guy.
we're never going to have that. It's just a broken system.
Yep. No, the system is so broken. I'm in a political thread right now I have a friend who she's very nice, but you would consider her like a progressive liberal, but she gets angry at how mean they are sometimes.
Are they mean, or does she just think they're mean? 'Cause
No,
I think there's a big
her
difference.
progressive friends.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
me and these two other guys will jump into her threads, and we're always calm and like just talking logic. So she put us all in a thread, and she's like, I can't deal with these people anymore. She's like, why are they so mean to y'all? And they're not like listening to what you're saying. But long story short, like she's sort of coming over to the like libertarian side, which I sometimes say I'm probably more libertarian than anything.
Yeah.
Because she's, I think, seeing these people don't believe in what they're saying. They're just like being angry and loud. And
Well,
like,
there's a meme or GIF or whatever. I don't know what you call it. GIF, Alex?
either way.
Anyway, it's like a person standing in the middle. It's like a stick figure.
Mm-hmm.
Person standing on the left, person standing on the right. And the person on the left is like shoving the person in the middle. And then they end up on the right.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it's a perfect description,
Yeah.
I think, of like definitely what's happened to me. Because I would say I all my values lean right. But I'm kind of in the middle. Like,
Same.
leave me alone. Do whatever you want. If you want to be trans, be trans. If you want to have an abortion,
Same.
you do that. But
That's
like,
right.
I'm not going to pretend it's not a baby.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
like I just do whatever you want. I'm also not going to put policies on your abortion.
Yeah.
I don't think that's my place.
Yep.
That would be the same thing as like, oh, I'm going to tell you how to educate your kid, and I'm not going to, or I'm going to tell you to get vaccinated. I'm not
Yeah.
going to tell you to do that either.
Yep.
Leave me alone.
Yeah.
Do your thing. I do my thing.
Yep.
Keep the government out of my house. Keep the government out of my
Yeah.
wallet. Pay less taxes. Abolish taxes. With how the what is it? The Pentagon failed its like 8th audit,
Yeah.
but we have to report $600 to the IRS.
Well, I've had a lot of these local real estate people and pro developer people. Like, you preach that you're a conservative and you want limited government, but then you don't want us to be able to get our zoning. We should be able to do whatever we want to do with our land.
No, that's not true.
Listen, I'm like, thank you for throwing me that softball. I'm like, the essence of conservatism to me is the ability for a local community to decide what's going on a piece of land.
And for people to vote on it.
That's right. But when the federal government comes in and takes over this crap, that's not conservatism anymore. When the state does, then you're like touching the lines. But I can go have coffee with my commissioners next week and talk about why this road can't handle that subdivision. And that is conservatism to me. It's keep it small, keep the feds out, keep the state, So it really.
Well, when you inject the government into pretty much anything, it implodes.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's like, look at socialist countries.
Have you ever seen the data for the Federal Department of Education?
Mm-mm.
Oh, well, you got to pull up. They created the Federal Department of Education in the 70s, I believe, probably Jimmy Carter thing. And overall, our standing as a public education country, our test scores have gradually gone down, while the price we're spending on education has skyrocketed. So public education was harmed by the Federal Department of Education, and the data proves it without a doubt. So you give the power back to the parents first of all, and then the local community to make their decisions. But then they're like, well, what about those poor kids in those poor communities? And I'm like, I don't hate those people. I don't want harm for those, but my children are who I'm the most responsible for first. And
would you see some of the stuff that happened in California?
About
So they passed a bill, or they were trying to pass a bill that said they can vaccinate the child at school without parents' consent.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And
ridiculous.
That would be the day that I go to jail.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
That would be the day I go to jail, because I'm going in and I'm doing something. If you do that to my children, do anything to my kids, I mean, I would go nuts. I would go absolutely nuts. And to give that power to a school is crazy, especially in California with all those blue-haired teachers. They all look exactly the same too. Have you seen those TikToks and stuff?
Oh yeah.
What would you do if I was your teacher and it's rainbow, nose piercing, ear? You can't tell if it's a boy or a girl. Oh, I'm non-binary.
I follow on X, which is sometimes it's such a cesspool I can't get on there, but the libs of TikTok.
Libs are the best.
That's the
best page.
I love their
Did you
stuff.
find it out?
It's
So
pretty
this
unbelievable.
is the total cost, number of employees.
And it's adjusted for inflation also.
Total cost has gone up 200%, and the math scores have remained the same. The science scores. Oh wait, the science scores have gone up, but that's it.
Well, it's interesting. You can look at so school systems, when they get audited, they have to say how much they're spending per student per year. And you can look, Forsyth County, we rank pretty well, but we're still $10,000, $12,000 per year. And I'm like, give me a class of 30 kids and give me $360,000 and let's see. But go look at New York. It's $35,000 per kid.
My God.
It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
And their test scores are
terrible. Yeah,
terrible.
I just can't. So they just think throwing more money at the issue is going to help, but it's made it worse, honestly.
It's tough to argue that major cities are doing it well.
Mm-hmm.
I know the CPS, Chicago Public Schools, something came out recently. Alex, you probably got to look this up. The Chicago Public School System, they spent something millions of dollars on vacations for themselves.
Oh, yeah.
It's why do you get to do that?
Mm-hmm.
And it was to the Bahamas.
Consistently, this is something else you can look up. If you look at lobbying the federal government, top 3 biggest lobbyer in the federal government almost every year is education lobbyists, specifically from the standardized testing companies and the book companies. They drive public education from the federal level because people say, the feds aren't doing anything with my kid in my school. They are. They have to take these tests at the end of the year that are mandated, or you don't get your federal funding. And it's all coming from these lobbyists in these multi-billion-dollar industry, the SATs and the CRCTs and all these tests that the kids take at the end of the year that are bullshit, and they don't help these kids, and it wastes a month of the whole school year, and it drives me nuts. But you see, these bureaucrats are making decisions not because what their constituents are telling them most of the time, but it's what the billion-dollar corporate testing company told them to do. Hey, mandate this test at the end of the year. And then we'll sell, Forsyth County has something like 40,000 students, 50,000 students. Every kid has to take this test, $60 a pop. Do the math. Multiple tests, multiple times per year.
Yeah, there's a big misconception with, and I think this is going to reflect in the very near future. There's a big misconception between education and intelligence.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Am I intelligent and am I educated? COVID is a perfect example.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Golden star example. Oh, I'm very educated with vaccines, and you should get vaccinated because this vaccine is going to be super effective and super safe and all this stuff. And obviously we know completely wrong.
Yeah.
And the best way to be protected was to actually, get the virus.
And the mask did nothing.
Mask did absolutely
The mask
nothing.
probably drove me more nuts than anything in the whole COVID.
I found this chart of top lobbying by industry.
Top lobbying by industry. So we got scroll to the top. Pharmaceuticals, yeah.
Oh yeah, pharmaceuticals. I think is like always number
Pharmaceuticals, then
one.
electronics, then insurance, then real estate, then securities investments.
Real estate. That's another one drives me nuts. They lobby like crazy for affordable housing, for high density, for apartments.
Then look at Zoran Mamdani or whatever. That was the first thing he said he was going to do was make like free housing.
There's education down there. What is that? Billion or million?
76.61
Million.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So $80 million.
Just lobbying these guys on how to vote.
That's absolutely ridiculous. So what? But where I was going with that, I think this is my prediction. I think college is going to become a joke to most people.
Yeah,
because especially people with like liberal arts degrees and people that are getting these degrees that simply are not paying them enough.
and they spent $200,000 to get it.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So you're taught to take this loan on. You're taught to go get your 4 years and pick whatever you want because freedom and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then you pick this whatever communications. That was a lot of the athletes back in the day. Choosing, they were on their full ride. Like, I'm just a communications major. What does that even mean? Nobody knows what that means. And then they get out, and the ones that weren't on scholarship, they got this huge loan, this huge amount that they owe, and they're just paying towards interest.
Yeah,
and they're barely surviving.
When I was a teacher, I used to tell my kids often, most of y'all probably don't need to go to college. I'm like, especially right out of high school. And I got told more than once by administrators, you can't be telling these kids this. And I'm
of course
like,
you can.
Why can't I? I'm like, I have 4 degrees. I have 2 bachelor's degrees, 2 master's degrees, and I'm like a semester or 2 short. I could finish my PhD. And I'm like, they were wasting my time for the most part. Like,
what were your degrees in?
My bachelor's in management information systems, and then I minored in computer science. And then
why'd you get more?
Well, when I started teaching,
they pay for it, right?
Back then, well, no, they kind of said they would, but they didn't. The laws have changed now, but I was a teacher on a provisional teaching certificate, and I had X amount of time to go get my teaching degree, but I could just get a master's degree in education, and
they would double.
So I got the master's in education, and then so I got a master's in teaching and a master's in secondary education, and at a prior job, I had started my MBA, so I have a semester of an MBA. And then I started doing work towards just getting my PhD because I used to think I want to be a principal and make all the money. And then the cost for that PhD was going to be like another $32,000. I'm like, This is stupid. I quit. Sarah was like, you're not doing any more school. But I enjoy school and I'm good at it because I like reading. I like information. But I strongly encouraged my oldest daughter not to go to college. And she's finally, after wasting a year in it, realizing maybe I was right. But like my middle kid,
I think it's a great adult experience. But you can do that adult experience.
Right.
Instead of spending what's in-state Georgia tuition?
It's not that bad. I mean, you're talking about just the tuition's probably $10,000 or less.
Okay, so for $10,000, you can post your kid up a couple hours away, give him an apartment, give him a job. I'm going to make my kids do several things. One of the things I'm going to make them do is like, hey, I'm going to go to a local mechanic. I'm going to say, hey, these 2 boys, they're yours.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I don't want you to pay them. I want you to just teach them hard work, teach them how an engine works. That's something that I didn't do at all.
I'm very great. My dad taught me all that, made me. Not on my truck I have now, I can barely find the oil filter. My truck I had prior, I was the only person who ever changed the oil in that truck. Like I could take
that's
the
so
whole,
cool.
But,
that's so cool to me.
Yeah, no, I enjoy like knowing that, and I've tried to teach my son that, same, but he's sort of brainwashed now. I think he's going to join the military. We'll see. Like, they'll pay for your school, man. So he's like, what? You go for free? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, but you got to go through the military.
Nah. So
I got a little brother, Luke Rogers. He's he was back and forth on playing for Wisconsin Platteville. Am I going to go to the military? I don't know, blah, 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 blah. I finally talked him in. I'm like, listen, because he wanted to go to the military and then go to school. I was like, if you want to go to school, you should go to school first. You know, so he went for, he saved a bunch of money, went for a couple years, and now he's in the military now.
No, and I'm not anti-college. Like, my middle daughter wants to be a lawyer, and I think she's the type kid that will achieve that. But
there are certain things you need to go to school for.
That's right, yeah. And like my wife will tell you right now, she would never have made it in college, and she's the best real estate agent I've ever seen, and she understands. She's
awesome.
Yeah, she understands those contracts. I've had lawyers say, "I think your wife knows these contracts better than me," and I'm like, "Yeah, but she's very smart, but she just hates school." Like, but like she'll go take courses on these contracts and stuff, and you know.
Well, I think if we can somehow put in the system, like in the education system, like give the choice of learning what they want, you know, instead of putting every kid in a box.
Yes.
Okay, you have to learn this algebra.
100%.
You have to learn this, whatever. You know, we put every single kid in the same exact box.
Yep.
And then we diagnose them with ADHD when they don't want to pay attention. It's like how, especially like young kids.
Yep.
I got 3 and 5-year-old, man. They don't sit still.
Yep.
So if your goal is to sit a kid in a desk and talk to them for 8 hours a day, and they happen to show signs of ADHD, that's not ADHD. Yep. That is a young boy trying to go nuts.
Well, they create these standards in education, the state standards for math, for social studies, for science. They create these national standards. So all the school systems are like fighting towards making sure that they're giving all these standards to their kids because they're going to get tested on it at the end of the year, the standardized test. And like I said earlier, the funds from the federal government and even state, some are tied to your results on these tests. Like if your school's failing these tests, they start taking money away. So what's happening there? They're just worried about passing that test. So they're not worried about the top kids and making them super smart and going like above and beyond. They're worried about the bottom kids who can't pass it. So there's so much focus in public education on bringing the lower quartile up. And I feel like
rather than letting kids spread their wings.
Yeah, like I feel like the kids in the middle are just kind of getting dumped on. Like the top kids, they're going to be successful probably no matter what. But those middle kids, they learn how to game the system, and they're like, these tests are easy. I'm not really. And like you said, like, why can't we figure out what they want to do and where? They don't all need to be learning trigonometry and like algebra. They need basic math skills. They need to read. They need to write. But
oh God, I went all the way up. Statistics is a good one.
Yeah,
I think statistics is a good one.
Yeah.
I almost think it should be in front of like algebra.
Oh yeah,
because it is like, especially if you're an entrepreneur, you know, understanding statistics and probabilities, I think is super important with decision making and like whether or not I should get vaccinated. You know, like let me see the real statistics on it.
Yeah,
I think statistics is up there, but like algebra, calculus. Oh my God, and it was AP classes were pushed so much when I was in high school.
They started AP my junior year, I believe, and we had like two, maybe 3 classes. I took AP Calc. I love math. I was a math nerd. I took AP like Lit or something, and AP U.S. History, I think. Well, the AP Calculus class, I put so much time and effort into that class, and I made a 5 on the AP exam. Fast forward 20 years later, 15 years later, in my class, my kids are like, Coach Coleman, will you help us on this calculus? I'm like, I don't know how to do any of this. Thought you made a 5 on the APs. I'm like, I did, and I have never used it for 3 days. Any of it, and I will never use any of it. Like,
dude, that's a lot of my schooling.
Oh man,
that's a lot of it. I remember a marketing class I had, and this is college. I remember a marketing class I had. I remember a political science class I had in high school that actually stuck with me a little bit. Maybe that should have been, you know, a foreshadow for me because Trump is what dragged me into politics.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, why does everyone hate this guy?
Yeah.
That was my biggest question. I was like, why? Like, and I have a real problem with authority. So when the authority pushes a certain narrative on someone, I'm like, the guy's probably got something figured out. Meanwhile, I don't think Trump has done a good job at all. You know, like,
I'm not a big.
I'm not.
I voted for him twice.
I voted for him,
but I did not. This is what I tell people. I did not vote for Trump in the primary either time. So when it was Republican versus Republican, because here, did you register to vote yet? You need to get going.
No, I need to do that.
Yeah. Especially in your
got my Georgia license now, though.
Okay. Your precinct up here, all that matters is the primary in North Forsyth County. You're going to go in, you just get to vote Republicans on your ticket.
Yeah.
And so, I voted for. I was going to vote for Ben Carson first time, but he dropped out the week before the Georgia primary. So I voted Ted Cruz. And then the second time in the primary, I wrote in like Rand Paul, I think, or something. But then in the general election, obviously I voted for Trump both times.
Yeah, it's definitely the lesser of two
evils. The dude is a jerk. I get it. The guy, ignorant. He's a king troll. I'm like, all this crap coming out of his mouth, like the ignorance, I think it's just him trolling these people because he likes the reaction he gets.
I definitely think it's that, but I also think he is like a really conceited person.
100% narcissist. Yeah, I mean, I feel like to be successful in politics, you have to be.
You have to be. Well, in today's game for sure.
Yep.
In a perfect world, RFK.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's my guy, dude.
I like RFK.
He's awesome, dude. And he was a big reason the whole Maha movement.
Yeah,
that was a big reason. Like when he's like, I'm going to support Trump. I'm like, okay, well now I have to.
Yeah, and then Ben Carson though. Ben Carson's the only presidential candidate I've ever donated to, and I love telling this story. And some people have gone back and done this. Go back and watch the presidential debate before the 2016 election, where Donald Trump and Marco Rubio were going at it. And they started basically alluding to penis size. Do you remember this?
I don't remember it.
Oh, you got to go watch it. He's talking about little Marco and his little hands, and he's just and I'm like, these people are running for president. And you can see the look on Ben Carson's face. He was like, I'm out. These people are idiots. I'm out. Because that's the thing. He's just a good dude. And
that's hilarious.
Go back and watch it. People are like, you're right.
Yeah, I'm going to have to pull that
and
up.
Now Trump and Rubio love each other. Like, this is funny. Like,
what are we at, Al?
55 minutes.
Okay, cool. I actually wanted to give you a chance. We started talking about it in Less Polished, but I wanted to, and I don't remember it either. Your hand.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. My hand.
So how did this happen? It was. I think you said it was like an accident, like a Jeep.
That's right. When I was 19 years old, I went to University of Georgia out of high school, and I had a connection with the baseball coach there. So they were going to give me a walk-on spot. That coach gets fired. That didn't really work out. North Georgia had basically offered, University of North Georgia, I don't know if you've been up there yet. They had basically offered me.
I've been nowhere. You keep asking me about that. I've been trying to move in for 3 weeks.
Offered me, quote unquote, free ride. It was all academic. Like, I had such good grades, they could get everything paid for academically.
You were a 4.0 guy?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was like, I graduated third in my class, I think. And so I was just like a nerd. But so
Were you a nerd or was it natural?
It's like both, I think. I mean, I naturally could have made good grades, but I worked hard, like really hard. Cool. Yeah. Okay. I read a lot, and I always read a lot. Mm-hmm. So I couldn't stand for a kid to make a higher grade than me. It was like a competitive thing too. Like in math, I'm like, nobody's going to make a higher grade than me in this thing. So, but after they fired the coach at UGA, I mean, I was very undersized. I weighed like 145 pounds my senior year of high school. I spent that first year of college obsessing. I got with nutrition people at UGA, and I gained up to 187 pounds by the next summer.
You gained 187 pounds?
I gained 42 pounds. I went from 145 up to like 187. Yeah.
Gonna say, big dog.
Best shape of my life, whatever. The coaches at North Georgia contacted me after the UGA. People were like, hey, you're still open. Come up here. So I transferred in that summer and did summer courses at UNG and played summer ball. And here we go, 19 years old, 2 or 3 days after our physicals, literally in the best shape of my life. Just had a meeting with Coach Cantrell, who just retired, about, hey, you're going to be playing third base. Had never played a single game of third base in my life. I was always a shortstop. But we had a shortstop that was about to get drafted. So they moved me to third. So I'm like, okay, fine. We're having our fall game. He's like, you're going to start at third in this fall game. I think I was hitting leadoff. I don't know. I was a pretty good baseball player. On our way to baseball practice 2 days later, in the back of a Jeep Wrangler, hit a truck on 400 about 15 minutes from here and flipped 5 times and crushed my hand off completely.
Seatbelt or no?
Yes, saved my life. Okay. So that's we hit this truck so hard, my head slammed into the seat in front of me. And I had like road rash on my face, and I immediately felt.
Whose fault was it?
The kid driving, one of my baseball teammates. I thought my neck was broken. Like I remember feeling this like crazy like explosion in my neck when my face hit, And then we started sliding, and my whole body, I was wearing my lap belt, started like going out of the Jeep. And I grabbed the roll bar and pulled myself back in as we flipped. Saved my life. Like literally saved my life. It would have been my head, but it got my hand. It got my hand, and we
you were holding the roll bar.
Yeah, when I pulled myself back in, and like I remember like kind of like seeing pavement.
So you like pushed yourself back in.
Yeah.
It's like
We land, and I'm like they're out of it, probably with a concussion, thinking my neck is broken and my ribs hurt, and
then you see your hand.
And then no, like we had a 6'4" pitcher in the front seat in front of me. Really good player. Cracked his like head open, blood everywhere, out cold. And I thought he was dead. I'm like, Dustin, oh my God, like Dustin's dead. And so like I reach up to shake him, and then I feel like all this warmth on my leg, and I look down, and I'm like bleeding to death. And I hold my hand up, and you can see the bones and blood just squirting out like from a movie. And I was like, oh my God, I'm bleeding to death.
Oh my God.
Well, we were really close to the Dahlonega Army Ranger camp. So there's a big Army Ranger camp really close to here where they do like the major training for Rangers.
That's where my brother Luke wants to go.
Yeah. He saw the wreck happen, came up, took his belt off, put a tourniquet on my arm, stopped me from bleeding to death, got life flighted because I almost bled to death, and then spent several weeks in the hospital. Long story short, I had some broken ribs that I found out later, had broken ankle, found out later, and lost most of my hand. But I mean, to this day, I'm like, I'm so lucky I didn't die. Like,
well, dude, it sounds like the best shape of your life saved you.
Yeah, no, I think so.
Because
probably.
like when you smack your head, I mean, training your posterior chain or your training your everything, right? Working out as much as you did, doing the Olympic lifting, doing the powerlifting, probably saved your life, and freaking adrenaline rush and pushing yourself back.
I mean, I remember like when I initially got to the hospital, I remember they did like a MRI or CAT scan. I don't know which one, but because they thought maybe I had a broken neck also. And then I remember kept asking, like, is my neck broken? They're like, no, it's not. I'm like, thank God. Like, because I could barely move. And I was like, it was just whiplash. It was just whiplash.
So was he just not paying attention? He slammed a car in front of him?
Back then, this is 1999, when you passed Highway 53 on 400, it was just like an old county, like an old road. There was no turning lanes when you turned right or left. And a truck, but people still drove like 60 or 70 miles an hour on it. A truck was trying to turn right at Henry Grady Highway. You'll pass it one day. I'm sure you're driving up through there.
You gotta take me to the spot.
Yeah, to this day, when I go to that spot, I get chills. Just like
I bet.
He started to go around the truck. It was a 4-lane road, and there was a white Cadillac Escalade in the lane. I have like this picture in my head, and he yanked it back, and we slammed into the truck like full. It was a burgundy F-150. Front bumper of his Jeep got hung under the rear bumper of the truck, and we started sliding. And then when we got sideways, they became detached, and we flipped like 5 times. Yeah. But in the sliding is when my whole body was like sliding out. And that's when I pulled myself back in as the first flip happened.
Oh my God,
and I'm
dude.
very confident.
How were you slipping out if you had your lap
it was
belt?
It was like an 80s model or so Wrangler. So like probably not much higher than this arm thing right here. And we hit it so hard, I was just like out like this.
Oh my God.
So yeah.
That's a life-changing experience.
Well, we hit it, and then like it slammed me into the seat in front of me. Oops. And then we started sliding. It was like a boom, boom thing. And it's just this old lap belt, you know.
But saved your life.
Yeah, absolutely.
That and your bicep.
Yeah. I always had big traps.
Yeah. Well, traps definitely came in handy for whacking your head in the front.
That's back to the Coach Bishop powerlifting days, man. He used to make us do shrugs all the time.
This is one of those experiences, too, where it's like, okay, I believe in God now.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Were you religious before?
I grew up, in a Southern Baptist church, and then honestly, like the year after that was one of the biggest times of my life I questioned my faith, but I dug into it so deep, my faith became stronger. Like just, I started looking at Jesus as a historical figure.
Your life changed forever.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, completely.
I mean, baseball was your thing.
That's right. Yeah,
and then that's gone.
And I tell people, like, I vividly remember the day of my wreck and the days following it. This happened in September, and I had been playing baseball there like June, July, August. I don't remember anything hardly about those 3 months. It's like it got wiped out of my brain. I don't know if it was head trauma or it was like a way that I reacted to it.
Could have just been trauma itself.
Like I had just started dating this girl I met at like a sorority party. I don't even remember her name. Like to this day, she didn't come to the hospital. My baseball coach was the first person at the hospital.
The girl you're dating didn't come to the hospital?
we were like kind of dating, not too serious. But I remember my baseball coach and the athletic director were at the hospital when I landed. That was pretty cool. And then I remember a bunch of my high school friends were there for like days, so.
That is an absolutely insane experience.
It was.
What was the, so you have a plate. I remember you telling me, or one of your fingers is metal, titanium.
It ripped my hand off across here and my thumb, like pretty, not cleanly, but like in one piece. And I'll never forget, the doctor was this micro hand surgeon named Grady Clinkskells. And I learned after the fact, he's like world renowned. My stuff got published in some medical journal. It had never been done before, what he did. And I'll never forget, I was laying on the bed and he had my hand next to me, talking to me about my hand. Before they did my surgery, he was doing surgery on my hand. And he was walking me through that my knuckles had all been crushed to powder. Because I was holding the roll bar, it just crushed my knuckles. And he's like, there's no saving them. But he took these 3 fingers and he's like, I'm going to clean them up as high as I have to, but leave as much of them as possible. And then I'm going to clean below your knuckles up and I'm going to attach them with a titanium plate. And we're going to see what happens.
We're going to see.
He was asking me, like, what do you want to do? I mean, I was 19 years old. I'm like, dude, I just want to live. Like, literally, I'm like, I don't think I'm playing baseball anymore. I saw my hand. My mom, she's like, oh, you're fine. You're still going to be able to play. And I'm like, I'm not playing baseball anymore. But
you threw lefty?
I threw righty. No, yeah. And I could throw like almost 90 too. Like, but I did pitch a little, but I was a shortstop by trade. But
well, when you're young, the shortstop is kind of one of the pitches.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Like, my arm always killed me in high school because I threw too hard, I think, to be as small as I was. So my junior, senior year.
That was like before pitch count stuff too. That's what happened to me.
Yeah.
I was a great pitcher, and I was the best pitcher on all of my travel teams, and I just torched my arm.
Yeah.
And it was my dad was my coach. So, can you throw today? Yeah, of course I can throw today. And really, like, my arm would be just killing me. I'm like, I want to win, man.
I'll never forget. I don't remember if it was my junior or senior year. So we lost game 3 of the state championship in high school in my junior year. We won the state championship my senior year. There was no beating us my senior year. We were so pissed from the junior year experience. I'll have to tell you that story another time. But I didn't pitch at all my junior year, but going through to my senior year, I'm like, I want to start pitching some more. My arm was killing me again. And my dad was like, let's go get what are those shots they get? Oh man, it's like
an arthrogram shot.
It's like a steroid.
PRP.
Yeah, I can't remember what
steroid shot, cortisone.
Cortisone. I went and got a cortisone shot because we were like in the final 8-4, and my dad's like, "Don't tell anybody." Like, I didn't even feel my arm for the next like 3 or 4 games. Like, there's no telling what I tore.
Just humming it across the field.
Yeah. No, I'll tell it to you real quick. My junior year, we're playing Irwin County, way down. This is South Georgia, like Podunk, South Georgia, man. Like where they had crawdads and like kegs out in the outfield at this high school baseball game. Like this is like Hickville,
Georgia.
Yes.
Georgia.
This is where like you probably wouldn't understand these people speak. But they were really good.
I've met a couple of those up here.
They had a pitcher that was like one of the top pitchers in the state, maybe country. I don't remember the exact scores. I think he pitches game 1 against us. We had an ace too, though. We had the dude that cracked his head open. We played high school ball. They beat us like 1-0, 2-1 game 1 with this kid. Game 2, we smoke them. I think we like run rolled them in game 2 because we had a number 2 guy that was legit too. Game 3, we're like, we got these guys. They don't have another pitcher. It rained for 2 days.
Oh.
Ace got to come back and pitch game 3, and they beat us 3-2. I was so pissed. It's the only time I ever got thrown out stealing a base in my whole high school career.
What?
The kid's throwing like mid-90s, and they had a D1 catcher. And first time I got on base, I was like, I'm going on first movement, and he quick pitched me, and dude drilled me. I'm like, should have stole. No, that was my, like, I guess like my superpower. I could fly. Like I was really.
Did they do 60s then?
They did, and I don't remember. I mean, I was like a laser time, like 4.4 140, and my 60 was
4.4 is fast.
My 60
Low
was
4.4
like
is freaking
it was
fast.
well, the North Georgia coach, I'll never forget when I go there and we're doing like the first practices. He times me on the 60. He's like, "How the hell did you not have bigger offers?" I'm like, I was little. I was like my senior year I was like 5'7", 145, and then by the time he got me, I was 5'9", like 190. So like
You buffed up big time.
yeah, and then I couldn't hit until my senior year either. So I tell.
Well, you heard it here first, man. Lifting weights saved your life.
Oh yeah.
Like
No doubt.
I would bet that too.
No, I think so.
I got hit. I got hit on my motorcycle my senior year of college.
Oh damn.
Because we had like a little I had a DRZ as like a Suzuki just to get around town. I actually had to clear it with Coach Pinkle because everyone's like, "Oh, he doesn't like motorcycles," and I was like, "Well, this is how I save money."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so I had to like show him the bike and what it was and all this stuff. And this girl, Cara Cowgill, she turned in front of me. I had the Spider-Man instinct to jump over. So I did a front flip because my feet hit the handlebars. I remember bouncing like a trampoline on pavement. Didn't knock me out or nothing, but I just remember being like, she gets out and she says, "Oh my God, are you okay?" And I'm just like, "Get away from me."
Yeah,
But anyway, long story short, I'm in the hospital and the doctor's like, "You lift a lot of weights, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, I play football." He's like, "That saved your life."
Yeah, I believe it too.
Like that saved you from any broken bones. Not saved your life, but that saved me. So we can relate there for sure.
That's my ankle, my right ankle. I never knew it was really hurt after my wreck. And then fast forward maybe a year later, I'm playing in like an intramural soccer game, and I sprained my ankle like so bad, and I thought it was broken. And they do a X-ray, and he's like,
Sounds like a
he's
stress
like, "When did you
fracture."
get the pin in your ankle?" I'm like, "I don't have a pin in my ankle." And he's like,
Fracture.
"You broke this, and it didn't grow back correctly." And I'm like, "Probably in my wreck." I remember limping.
There's a high chance I know exactly when it happened.
Yep.
When we were rolling
And now
down
I'm like
Highway
thinking
400.
back, yeah, I remember limping a lot after it, and I just thought something was like hurt, you know.
Yeah, you just thought like your mind was like messed up.
But I laid in a hospital bed for about 5 weeks. It was miserable. I spent almost 2 weeks in the hospital originally, and they let me come home. And then the second night I was home, I woke up in the middle of the night with some of the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. And I screamed for my mom to come, and she turns the light on, and my bed sheets are just completely red, blood everywhere. I had a blood clot in my hand, and the skin graft exploded, and this blood was, so they rushed me back to the hospital, and I spent like 2 more weeks in the hospital because I had a ton of blood clots. So they had to put me on like blood thinners and make me just lay in a bed. It was awful.
I can see why that would be. You said the year after was like your biggest test.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was 20, I was Superman.
Yeah, no, same. Yeah.
You know, like there was nothing that could break me. There was nothing I was scared of. Like I remember doing stupid shit with my dirt bike, with my 4-wheeler, and for something like that to happen, I mean, that makes you grow up fast.
Yeah.
That's the fortunate part about crazy stuff. It makes you grow up super fast.
Got so skinny. I think that's why I lost like 50 pounds.
Yeah, I think you did.
A couple months after that, like it was awful. But I didn't eat. I didn't eat for like a month or two. So,
well, it's been awesome having you on, man. I want to give you a chance as a closing. You're the realtor in Georgia. You're my guy. You're who I'm going to push everyone to. You and Sarah, give your final pitch as to why you love Georgia, why you should move here.
all right.
And any advice you would give for the listener.
So, family's been in real estate forever, and it didn't take long for Sarah doing work with my little consulting company, and I was like, "You need to get your real estate license." And
What did Sarah do before, by the way?
She, the 2 or 3 years prior to the real estate, I had I guess you'd call it IT consulting company, like my MIS degree. I used to do some networking stuff. Well, we got some contracts with a third-party company that worked with cell phone towers, just doing paperwork stuff and like computer stuff. It's really hard to explain. She started doing that, and she ended up working almost solely on real estate contracts where the cell phone towers, normally they don't own the land. They're leasing a building or leasing the land. And so we were helping, I think it was T-Mobile bought out Nextel, and they were trying to get rid of their leases. Yeah, so we were doing all the stuff.
Beep, beep.
And she was doing so much with real estate contracts. I was like, Sarah, get your real estate license. I'm going to start a real estate company. My son, this is like 2016, 17. So he started playing like baseball. I was like all in on coaching football. I missed my son's first T-ball game because I was coaching. And then I started seeing how like it's damn near impossible to be at a top football program as a coach and really be involved with your kids' sports. So I went to my coach, our head coach, the next year or two, and I'm like, man, I'm quitting. I'm like, I'll do some consulting with y'all next year. It's like, but I want to coach my son. So I quit and started coaching him. One of the other coaches had his real estate license, and he was like, so you're going to start a real estate company? I'm like, yeah. And he was like, so if I buy a franchise to a company called Maximum One, will y'all come be our realtors, and you can just keep your name, the Coleman Group, and you don't even have to advertise Keller Williams or any of that stuff. Mm-hmm. So he, to this day, all these years later, almost 10 years, he does a DBA. He's our broker technically, but we are the Coleman Group. It's just me and Sarah, and she started doing that and just like hit the ground running. She was just amazing from the very beginning. But I had this perception watching other real estate agents and watching the community develop over the years that there could be a better process for most people, because I feel like a lot of real estate agents are either not very good at their job, or they don't take it seriously, or they don't hold the high ethics standards that I think you should. So I built this company, and I said it's just going to be a boutique type, small, organic real estate company where we're not trying to help hundreds of people a year. We're trying to help a few dozen, 30, 40 people max people per year buy or sell a house. And we're going to be hands-on, and no one knows this community like I do. And we're going to just treat every single person like they're our mom. That's what I always say. Like, our tagline is, we're not just realtors, we're your neighbors. So like, yeah, we live in this community. We raise our family here. We want to be friends with you, and we want to treat you the way that we would want to be treated. You know, golden rule. That's like
the golden rule.
If you don't learn anything else from the Bible, I always say the golden rule is all that matters in life. Treat other people the way that you want to be treated. And we've made it where it's not always about profit. It's about doing the right thing, because I firmly believe that doing the right thing will result in profits. So it just, God will provide. I believe in that. So been going full time now for 8-9 years. Me, Sarah, a year or so before that. I kept teaching for 1 or 2 years after, and I was going to quit completely. And my assistant principal came to me and he's like, how can we get you to stay 1 more year? I was like, well, I need to work here. He's like, okay, just don't tell anybody. I won't tell you who that is. So, but I ended up, it was pretty cool. I was teaching marketing, and I had a lot of kids do projects for my company. That was, we had kids that went to the DECA state competition and win doing an advertising campaign over my company. And I really did it in real life. Like, there was a group put together like a $10,000 program for me to just brand awareness, promote my company. And I'm like, we're really going to do this, guys. So, and my daughter's doing it right now for my company. She's doing the same project.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Where can people find you, by the way? Because I know you got Facebook.
Yeah, check us out on all the socials. We focus on Facebook and Instagram. We started out as Coleman Sold It because people thought that was catchy and they love it. And we still use Coleman Sold It. ColemanSoldIt.com is our website. But we've branded more as the Coleman Group. The last 3 or 4 years, we did have a full-time employee when the COVID frenzy hit, because it was like more than we could handle. And
that was when the interest rates were
That's right,
awesome.
Like two interest rate, or 1.9.
Dang, you got in the ones?
Oh yeah.
I know we got our house at the time. We got down to like 2.2 or 2.3.
Well, I never wanted to grow too fast. I do think we'll go back one day. Like if I fast forward 10 years from now, I think the Coleman Group will have 10 employees, and we'll have like probably 5 real estate agents. And but we want to always, if you want to talk to Andy or Sarah Coleman, you can talk to Andy or Sarah Coleman. Like these other companies, there's this one name that everybody knows in this area. You're never going to talk to that guy. He doesn't do real estate. It's just a marketing name. You know?
Yeah.
So, I don't want to be that. I don't want to be the McDonald's of real estate. You know, I want to be the mom and pop, like.
I love that, man.
Yeah, chef driven.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I mean, you guys do an awesome job. Thank you again for getting this compound to me. And thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah, thank you.
Dude, it's been super fun.
It was awesome.
All right, bro.
Yes, sir.
Love it, man. That was fun.
Yeah, it is fun.